Hello again, everyone. Actually have an emergency video. Today is Christmas Day from Teresa, who I had made a video for in the past off a PayPal contribution. And the video was the sexual grooming tactics of the narcissistic sexual predator. And just so I'll put the link to that video in the description box so you can hear her original story as well. But this is a woman whose mother is jealous of her. Her father was sexually aggressive with her, made her take pictures at 8 years old, with her legs spread naked, and then kept the pictures around the house. So check out that first video as well so you can get a full perspective. But it seems like Teresa's going through something right now on Christmas, and she sent me her story, and here we go. Hi, Ollie. This is Christmas, and I'm totally freaking out. Can you help me? I don't know if you can maybe talk on Skype or about this or just answer this email. I just need to talk to someone who will understand and not judge me. As I told you, I got a room for myself to come to Portugal during the holidays. I live in Brussels because I didn't want to deal with my father in his house. Well, your first mistake is even going there and having any contact with them for whatever the reason, because these people are just poison, especially at the holidays. You don't want to be alone. But as I think we're going to come to find out in this letter, it's going to be the same narcissistic tactics. The problem is that the room was super noisy and I couldn't sleep in it. I was going through some tension because I was in the middle of some job interviews. I have been having several temporary jobs in tourism in order to build myself some work experience, but I have nothing really steady. When I don't have a job, which has now been the case for a month, I receive unemployment benefits, but they are not that abundant, and I am constantly afraid that I will end up with money problems in case anything happens. That's why I still haven't gotten no contact with my father. Okay. Like I said, a lot of us hang in for money and fear of money problems, or we're having money problems. But it's one of the worst reasons. There's never a good reason to stay with a narcissist, but the money thing is just terrible because you're giving them a vehicle now to attack you with and something to hold over your head. And believe me, I understand, the thing with the job and the job security. Believe me, after 3 years, I finally found the job that I started on Monday. So, but you're not even at a point yet where you're necessarily having money problems. You're hanging on. You have such fear, and they've instilled such fear in you and such control that just the fear of not having money is now keeping you in a relationship with your father, just in case you need that safety net. So a friend of mine said I could use this place for a couple days, after which he would need it back when he was in town. So I went to his place and left the other room. But that same night, because of all the stress and the sleeping problems, I was very tired and fragile. I went out with a friend and got super drunk and blacked out. Because I wasn't planning on it, I was carrying my purse with lots of things, all my documents, house keys of both mine in Brussels and my friend, and 100 euros in new makeup. Apparently, my friend said he was going home, and I just decided to stay in the club with a bunch of total strangers. And then I got my purse stolen. The strangers helped me look for the purse and even offered to let me stay at their place, but I was inconsolable and didn't know them that well. So they borrowed me money, and I took a cab to my brother's house because I don't know by heart any of my friends' addresses here in Lisbon. My brother is the golden child, and we always had this kind of weird relation where he is really nice and supportive towards me when I am alone with him, But then he acts like an asshole when he's in front of my dad, probably for money again. Lately, he tried to get closer to me, and I warned him that if he would act like an ass again in front of my dad, things would not work out. Anyway, I guess I went to his place because I knew he would never judge me for being drunk, because he drinks and parties a lot himself. But he didn't hear the bell ring. So by this time, I was so desperate that I went to my dad's house. Next morning, I woke up in my dad's house feeling like total shit. I blame myself for being drunk and feel totally stupid about what I did. I know I have a problem with controlling myself when I go out and party, because I am always the one who wants more and cannot stop. I guess this means that I should stop drinking for good, because otherwise something really dangerous could happen to me. Yeah, I mean, if this happens to you every time you drink, you really should consider, giving up drinking, because, I think the stress of being there, being back in Lisbon, seeing your family, all of it, the numbness you get from the alcohol is too much to overcome. So once you start, it's not going to stop until you're blackout drunk. Now I feel like a loser who cannot take care of her own stuff. All right, listen. Everybody gets their purse. Every woman I know has had like their purse stolen at a club, in a public place. It's the holidays. It's a club. Thieves are out. It's gonna happen. I wouldn't even be surprised if those strangers who were helping you out might have had something to do with it. But you did say they lent you money, so. But I was suspicious when they were offering, because you're blackout drunk and now they want to take you back to their place. I don't know. You didn't say if there were men or women or what the deal was, so maybe I'm reading a little much into that. I am not able to behave like an adult, and I need my father to be there when I screw up. This is how I feel. Like I cannot be responsible for anything. Not even my friends can trust me. Do you think it's a possibility you did this because you wanted your father to come down on you, almost like subconsciously you wanted to kind of keep that role going? Maybe it was an easier escape than maybe confronting your father about his abuse and about all the problems you had. So much like we do when we're children, we'll play into the role because you think playing the role you can deal with, you've handled it. And that would be better than the hell that's going to come down on you if you actually confront them. This is part of a self-sabotaging tactic that we do to ourselves, and I think this is what you did to yourself. You self-sabotage yourself in order to set up that same scenario. I am screwed and I cannot be an adult. I feel like all the progress that I have done, getting a room for myself, going low contact, having my own money, new friends, etc., is gone now because I gave my father this triumphant moment where he got to take care of me that night when I acted totally immature. No, you haven't. You haven't. Listen. You are further down the line of your recovery because of this than you were before it happened. Because now you have the option to say, okay, we're all going to have these little slip-ups. It's how we react to those slip-ups which determines us whether we go back to square one or we actually move forward. The fact that you could now be able to say, you know what, I have my issues I'm working through and I'm going to have slip-ups, okay? It still doesn't change the fact of the matter of A, why I'm like this, okay, and B, why and your responsibility for it. Period. Period. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed because your father only took care of you so he can use it against you, not because he's a loving father. loving father who took naked pictures of his child and kept them around the house. No. Remember the narcissist's intent. The narcissist's intent is to use whatever they can against you, okay? Even if it benefits you in the short term. So in the short term, yeah, you had somewhere to stay and he took care of you while you were feeling, took care and made sure you're all right while you were feeling sick. That's what any parent does. Big fucking deal. That's what you're supposed to do. The fact that you're out getting drunk and staying at other people's houses is because because your family is full of such abusive assholes. They put you in this situation to begin with. So don't think you took a step back because you went out and got drunk because you were so overly stressed. You're not. You owe him nothing. You owe him nothing. On top of all that, I got an email saying that I didn't get chosen to the job that I was applying for. The interview had gone really well. So I feel like a stupid, useless idiot and a failure. Listen, that's today's job market. They send you these cold emails. Don't read into it. Keep pushing forward. Eventually, something will break for you. Something will break. You know, I can't, it happens. And that's just today's job market. Don't take it personally. In my country, there's 94 million people out of the labor force. 94 million people. In a country of 360 million people, 94 million out of the labor force. Now, some of them are retirees, but a lot of them are just people who can't find jobs. Okay? You're no different than any one of them. No different. This is a worldwide problem of unemployment. People lose their jobs. Businesses go under. Finding a new one is nearly impossible. It seems like it's an uphill battle because it's so cold. You don't just walk into places with a resume anymore. Everything's online and you don't hear back most of the time. And you know, it's just the way it is. Don't connect that to your abuse. One thing has nothing to do with the other. My father is acting like a total jerk, saying horrible things about everything. Why I don't eat meat, why am I wearing these pants, etc. My brother was a jerk again last night to me, and then I wrote him an email saying that that was it. I had had enough. He answered me by playing the victim and saying that no one could say anything to me nowadays, and that I'm losing people in my life that can be important to me. I guess he's panicking that I am finally standing up for myself. Exactly. Exactly. Nobody could say anything. What he's saying is to you, you know, Teresa, we used to just be able to abuse you at will and you would take it. Now nobody could say anything to you because you're fighting back. That's what he's telling you. People that can be really important to me. That is a weird thing to say. You're losing people in your life that can be really important to me. Can be really important to me. What do you mean by important? Love? Because if there was love, why didn't he say you're losing people in your life that care about you and love you? No, but that could be important. I think that's another veiled money thing. Again, that carrot at the end of the stick that you're never going to catch. Okay, you got to be able to sit back and analyze how these narcissists and enablers talk. Because when you analyze their words and you look at what they're saying, they're telling you everything you want to know about themselves. I am still sleeping at my father's house because my plane is on the 7th of January and I am debating whether I should get a new room or not. By my calculations, I will have a damage of 200 euros after losing the purse. That would be the same price as getting a room. So I kind of feel like I should win this money back by staying here. But I am afraid for my mental state. I feel like I have regressed a lot these days. The ideal would be if you could talk to me, but I understand. But if you're not available, I understand. Thank you in advance and Merry Christmas, Teresa. Well, staying in that house to the 7th is a really, really bad idea. It's a bad idea because it's only going to get worse from here. Um, if you lost the keys to the place, I don't know if maybe you could call a locksmith and have them open the lock. Get a hold of whoever that, if it's a house or a landlord situation, maybe they could let you in, so at least you could get back into there, have the lock change. Get a hold of your friend and say, listen, my purse was robbed, I lost the keys. It might be cheaper for you to call a locksmith and have the lock change and pay for new locks for the place than renting another room for 200 euros. I don't know. That could be a better option for you. That way, you make it right with your friend. He has new keys, he has a new lock, and then you don't have to stay there, and you probably get out cheaper than getting another hotel room at Christmas time, in Lisbon. Um, you have other friends. You said you just didn't know their addresses, because you were drunk. And then, well, now you should be able to find one of your friends or something where you could go stay and get out of your father's house. That's what I would do. I mean, you have other friends there. Think it through. You said you didn't go to your friends because you didn't know their addresses by heart. Well, now you have the opportunity to find them and say, hey, can you help me out? So I would try to look for some friends again, or a locksmith, have the locks changed if that's a cheaper option. And then my last option is, yeah, if you can find another room, I would. Because what is your mental sanity gonna? What's the price on your mental sanity at this point? Okay, because you have made a lot of progress and you don't want to get stuck there, falling back into the same trap, and then you might end up back at square one. You're not at square one. You haven't. You had a one night slip up where you got drunk, you had your purse stolen. It is not an indictment on your entire life. And the only reason you were in that situation is because of the abuse you suffered, because you can't go home, because of all of this. This is what they caused, not you. Your actions, yes, you're an adult, you're responsible for your own actions, but you were still put on a course that is very, very hard to deviate from. And the root cause of that, the course you're on, is the abuse at the hands of your mother and father. So you owe them nothing. You have nothing to pay them back for. And your father only did what every other parent would do in that same situation. So I hope that helps. I hope your Christmas gets better. I appreciate your support to the channel, and thank you for I appreciate you coming to me. It is very humbling that people have this much stock in my opinion, that they would seek me out on Christmas Day when they're going through a crisis. But I will be home all day today. Um, I'm gonna try to make some more videos for Christmas, and I'm definitely gonna make one at the end of the night, um, just as a pep talk again for everybody who's been dealing with their abusers today, who's currently dealing with their abusers right as I'm making this video. So thank you again. And to everyone else, please leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you enjoy this channel and you're getting something out of it, please consider making a contribution to the PayPal link in the description box below. And if you want your story read on my channel and you make a contribution of any amount, you go right to the top of the list. And if you want to make a contribution and do either a Skype call or a recorded phone call, which seems like everybody really seems to like, we could do that as well. This is Ollie Matthews. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all again soon.